We're here now. We are here now. I'm not going to tell y'all this story as a historian. I'm going to try my best to tell you this story as a regular guy, a regular civilian who did a little research and asked a lot of questions and had some real conversations with the family, friends, and people that really, really knew of a great man named Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Stay with me. This is going to encourage somebody. The whole point in what I'm about to say is that you on the other side of this screen, you have no idea, but I'm here to confirm with you that the things that you are wrestling with right now, the things that you're trying to figure out, what do I do with all of these images that I'm seeing on television? What do I do with all of these things that feels like we are continuing to wake up and be on the receiving end of whatever the world wants to do to you, your family, your survival, putting food on the table, being able to pay your rent or your mortgage, or maybe you are homeless. Because I've seen a lot of homeless people with cell phones. I'm going to try my best to give you some clarity over something that most of you guys have never, ever, ever heard or knew of. Y'all still with me? Okay. Dr. Martin Luther King Sr. was a senior pastor at Ebenezer Church. Here comes Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. There's senior and there's junior, his son. Born at home, literally on the same street that the church, Ebenezer Baptist Church, is on, is the same house that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was born, not at a hospital, at home. Fast forward, he walks physically half a block on the same exact street he was born on. He walks up the street where his father, Martin Luther King Sr., is a pastor. Fast forward, he becomes Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and he's now preaching at that same exact church on the same street that he was born on. He's now preaching at the same church, Ebenezer, where he is currently laid to rest next to his beautiful wife, Queen King Coretta Scott King. Stay with me, I'm getting somewhere. As Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was preaching under his father, who was the senior pastor at Ebenezer, Dr. Martin Luther King's desires was for him to be his own senior pastor at a church. The opportunity for him to finally become a senior pastor of his own church, where he is the lead pastor at his own church, his own congregation, did not happen in Atlanta, did not happen in Tennessee, did not happen in Memphis. It happened in Montgomery, Alabama, where he became finally the senior pastor of his own church. While he was in Montgomery, Alabama, if you were to use Google Maps right now, hear me out. If you were to use Google Maps right now, when you step foot out onto the stairs of the front of the church and you look to the right, it's the actual steps of the Capitol building. I'll say it again. The church that Dr. Martin Luther King became the senior pastor at in Montgomery, Alabama, because I've been there. I stood at that podium. When you walk out on the front of the church, when you look to the right, you see 1,000 steps because it was actually the Capitol building, the Capitol of Montgomery, Alabama building was on the front steps where Dr. Martin Luther King became a senior pastor of his first church. The house that he lived in was provided by the church. In that same house, he was bombed in there with his 2 very young children. Fast forward, there was a black woman by the name of Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks got off work. Rosa Parks, like every person who works and stands on their feet all day, said, no, sir, I am not going to the back of the bus. My damn feet hurt. You hear me? Yeah, I got it. I understand the rules and the laws. Buses are segregated and black people can't sit throughout the bus or sit whatever seat they want to sit in. And we're supposed to sit in the back. That's what they told her. She told them, hell to the no, no, no. I am not going to the back of this bus. She was arrested. The whole Montgomery, Alabama went up into an uproar. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who is not from Montgomery, Alabama, and he just got the job and the role to be a senior pastor at his first church after preaching under his father, who was still very much so active in his church and did not want to retire and did not want to step down at the time to let his young son become the senior pastor at his church. So he said, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I love you, son. You have graduated with a PhD from Morehouse. You got all these degrees. You're smart. You're educated. You're also a very powerful man of God. We raised you to become the giant within, representing the kingdom. Like father, we got a son. Man of God carrying that torch. But in this house at Ebenezer Baptist Church here in Atlanta, Georgia, I am the senior pastor and I'm going to continue to be the senior pastor of this church. So Dr. Martin Luther King got an opportunity to become a senior pastor in Montgomery, Alabama. Rosa Parks decided, I am not going to move, white man, to the back of this bus. My feet are hurt. I'm tired. I just got off work. Miss me with your bullshit. Montgomery, Alabama. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who was not from there, he just got an opportunity to become a senior pastor at his first ever church. Like everybody else, Dr. Martin Luther King got wind of what was going on with Sister Rosa Parks, who got arrested because she refused to move to the back of the bus. Dr. Martin Luther King decided to take action and do something. He just got to Montgomery, y'all. He ain't no politician. He ain't into politics. He ain't a civil rights activist. He has a problem with all of the racism and all of the stuff that's going on in the world. just like you do right now on the other side of this phone. No different than Dr. King, along with everybody else who was around in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. Something activated inside of him, grabbed his shirt, and he got called into a movement. Everybody thinks and believes, because he's one of the most legendary civil rights activists in the history of civil rights activism, that it was something that he wanted to do and be his whole life. You on the other side of this phone right now, you're being called into something, just like Dr. Martin Luther King was called into something. Malcolm X was a petty thief, stealing, robbing, doing all kind of shit. No different than you. He went to prison. Started having conversations with brothers from the Nation of Islam, fruits of Islam. Started studying the Holy Quran, dedicated his life to Allah. He got out and he went and had his first ever face-to-face meeting and conversation with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He was called into Islam. From a dark place, being in jail, serving time. His name was Red. Last name Little. Little that became a giant. You are being called to something. You're not supposed to work at that job. You're not supposed to be at that bank. You're not supposed to just be a police officer or a teacher at that school. You're not supposed to just wake up and go to sleep, make money, survive, pay your bills, do what it is that you're doing every day. God has a calling on your life. You are not regular. The circumstances and the things and the situations that you have seen, you have felt, and you have experienced, it's not something that you are just supposed to go through, see, hear, feel, witness, and experience. There is a calling on your life, and I'm just here to confirm it. You are the mayor of your city. You are the chairman and chairwoman of your county. You are the future Congress member. You're a judge. You're a Supreme Court justice. You're an attorney. You're a civil rights attorney. You're a district attorney, a DA of your city, your state, or your county. You are a change maker. You are a person that has been brought here to be used to change things. Dr. Martin Luther King thought he was just supposed to be a senior pastor at a church, and he got thrusted into this unexpected thing. He never asked for it. He never moved to Montgomery, Alabama to do anything with Rosa Parks. Is somebody understanding me at all and what I'm getting at? Is somebody following me? Is someone keeping up with me? Do I have at least 2 or 3 smart people on the other side of this phone? There's a prime minister on the other side of this phone, somewhere in the Caribbean island. There's a future prime minister, minister of tourism, minister of aviation, minister of something on the other side of this phone. On the other side of this phone, there is a music producer, a writer, someone that's going to do scores for films. There's a future director and an actor. There's somebody on the other side of this phone who is going to write some of the craziest and most game-changing stage plays ever. There's somebody on the other side of this phone who's going to be a giant real estate mogul. There's somebody on the other side of this phone, just like the woman who founded MAD, which stands for Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. There's somebody on the other side of this phone who has dealt with and is dealing with a crisis. And instead of you deciding to deal with the crisis and figure out a way to get through the crisis yourself, thank you, Jesus. Somebody on the other side of this phone is going to decide that I have a problem with what I am dealing with. The fact that I can't feed my own kids, the fact that I am homeless, the fact that I don't have no gas money and I'm struggling and I'm broke, and they're taking FEMA and Medicaid and trying to get rid of Obamacare, and there's somebody who has a problem with the things that are going on. I don't want you to think that you're at home to just complain about this shit. You have a problem with it. And it's you that is supposed to fix it. The education system, that charitable organization that you've been thinking about founding, right now, you don't have to wait on your 501c3 non-tax exempt status in order for you to start putting the boots on the ground. As a matter of fact, if you become active in your charitable organization and your movement now, you'll get the 501c3 status faster than the people that's trying to get 501c3 from just pushing paperwork. You are the next senior pastor of your church. You are the next lawyer, judge, district attorney, civil rights activist. You are the founder of a black bank. You are the builder of the next Black Wall Street. What are you waiting on? How many more signs and indications do we need? How many more nudges and how many more times is God going to wake you up in the middle of the night and have your girl or your wife looking at you like you're crazy because you keep talking about this thing that you're being called to do? I'm asking you a question. What the fuck is the wait? What is the holdup? For all of the things that you don't know how to do, Google it, Chat GPT it, surround yourself with a bunch of people that represent your intentionality. We are nothing without a team. But a team or having a team should not be the reason that you decide to not move on the things that God is calling you to move on. What is the holdup? What are you waiting on? Let me show y'all something. Please, let me show y'all something. Don't go anywhere. I might cry. I don't want to cry, but I might cry. But I'm going to show you something. And when I show you this, I'm going to get off my IG Live, because if I stay on this IG Live any longer after I show you this, I'm going to have another crying video on the internet, and I don't want that. Stay right there. Okay. Okay. Y'all see this? This is my father's ashes. My dad in a box. Okay? It's my father's ashes that got delivered. Hi, Dad. Thank you for co-creating me with my mother. It's my dad's ashes that were delivered to me in a box. My father, right here. Dad, if you don't mind, let me finish talking to them. They're all a fan of mine. They're a supporter of my music, my movies, Fast and the Furious, Four Brothers, Transformers. I got 3 theme park rides right now at Universal Studios. And if my dad didn't co-create me with my mother, there would be no such thing as you being a Tyrese fan. This is Mr. Gibson right here in the box. Stay with me. There's Paul Walker. There's John Singleton. There's my mother. There's Paul Walker again. This is my music teacher from Locke High School, Reggie Andrews. There's my mother. There's my music teacher again, Reggie Andrews. There's John Singleton, John Singleton, John Singleton. There's Paul. There's me praying at the Wailing Wall in Israel, because my daughter is Jewish. My music teacher again, my mother, John, my music teacher, John, Paul Walker, and so many more. What am I getting at before I wrap up this video? We don't have time. Stop convincing yourself that we have time. You don't have time to keep playing. You don't have time to get to it next week. You don't have to wait on you to graduate before you get started. We don't have time. The ideas and the visions and the impact that you are here to make starts today. The woman who founded Mothers Against Drunk Drivers has helped to put millions of laws in place to stop drunk drivers from killing innocent children the way her daughter was innocently killed. You have seen enough. You know enough. You have experienced enough. You have been exposed to enough. What the fuck is the holdup? What are you waiting on? The cemetery is full of people who never got a chance to realize their dreams. The cemetery is full of people who kept saying, I'ma handle it next week. The cemetery is full of people who kept procrastinating and bullshitting and delaying it and saying, my mama never did that, so how the fuck am I supposed to do that? My daddy, we ain't never had a millionaire in my family. We ain't never owned a house. Ain't nobody ever been able to do and achieve and accomplish anything like this ever in the family and history of my family. Who? See? You have any plans, Dad? You gonna watch the game next week? Got any visions or dreams or ideas that you want to accomplish? Dad, I'm asking you. With the ashes that you are now in this box, you have any goals, anything that you'd like to achieve or accomplish? You can't. It's over. But it's not over for you. May my father's soul rest in heaven with my mother. If you don't move, I will. I'm not waiting on you. I'm not losing sleep over you. I'm not waiting on you to initiate anything. I'm not on standby waiting on you to decide what you want to do and then I'm going to follow. I got a father that's dead in the box. I got a mother that's in heaven. I got Paul. I got John. I got Reggie Andrews. I got so many friends, family, and loved ones that I thought that I would never, ever, ever still be here to ever see the day that they would not be here. My life without experiencing them on the day-to-day was nothing that I could ever fathom. So there is a sense of urgency inside of me. Stop playing games. It's been said that excuses sound best to the person that's making them up. What the fuck is your next excuse? What are you going to talk yourself out of next? Why are you in bed sharing your dreams with that woman and that man, and they're making a mockery of you because they don't see or envision the things that God is calling you to do? Or do you want a bunch of people to show up to your funeral to talk about how great you were and how much potential you had, but you are the motherfucker that never made your move?